It is impossible to pray for 5 hours without the Spirit of God helping you. It's impossible. Try it. In fact, you have tried it. You ended up sleeping or doing something else. Elijah was not the king of Israel. He was not even what you would consider one of the people in the royal court. So there was a limitation to the authority of Elijah's words with respect to him being a man. But however, in contact with the Spirit of God, Elijah had authority over Israel. And so he could say that except at my word, only kings will say those kind of things. Except at my word, there will be no rain or dew in the land. As a man, he could not have produced that kind of result. But as a man in contact with the Spirit of God, he could produce that result. So I'm saying that there are many things that are possible for us to begin to do when we engage those things through God's Spirit within us. It is possible to have God's Spirit within you and not engage God's Spirit for anything. But it is possible to still have God's Spirit within you and engage God's Spirit for everything. There are many times we try praying by our own spirit, but there are many times that you can decide to depend or lean on God's Spirit to help you that same engagement. Romans 8 says we do not know how we ought to pray even as we should, but the Spirit of God helps us. You can decide to do anything without His help, but you will experience many limitations. It is impossible to pray for 5 hours without the Spirit of God helping you. It's impossible. Try it. In fact, you have tried it. You ended up sleeping or doing something else. If the Spirit of God doesn't help you, there are many things you will not be able to do. Even evil people know that there are things they cannot do without receiving other sorts of spiritual help. And so their own phones too can accommodate many SIM cards. That's why they can have many spirits within them, all to help them do many things. And so if evil people know that their lives and the things they want to do cannot be sponsored by their own spirits, how much more should the child of God know that there are things that we are not able to do except that we are sponsored from God's Spirit? Another naturally occurring consequence of salvation is that God blesses us with spiritual blessings. Ephesians chapter 1 verse 3. The Bible says, now thanks be to God who has blessed us with all spiritual blessings